addressing the pension in the budget cycle. I'm Jill Horner. This is Comcast Newsmakers. With me is Pennsylvania State Representative Glen Grell. Thanks for being with us.
My pleasure.
Let's talk a little bit about the budget overall. It's a $28.4 billion proposed budget. It's a 2.4% increase over the last budget.
Correct.
The governor has also called for some pension issues to be addressed within this budget cycle as well.
Yeah.
There's a $41 billion unfunded liability between the two pension funds. Give us an idea as to the reasons that the pension should be addressed during the budget cycle.
Well, in terms of the budget generally, there's some really good stuff in the budget. There's increased funding for education. There's level funding for higher education. There's 13% more money in it for the CHIP program for children's health insurance. And there's money in for 3 state police trooper cadet classes. All of that's good. But there are some challenges. There's the transportation funding challenge, the liquor privatization challenge, and the big one is, in my view at least, the pension challenge. We're between the 2 state funds for teachers and for state employees, there's a $41 billion unfunded liability, which has accumulated over many years. And the governor has made a proposal for pension reform, part of which addresses future employees and creates a new plan for future employees. But the other part of the proposal would impose certain plan changes on current employees. And I want to make it clear, nothing in any of the proposals would affect current retirees. So if somebody's listening and they're retired from state service or school district, nothing in any of the proposals would affect them.
And let's get into some of the specifics, because changes for future hires are one thing, because these individuals have not been within a pension system to date. But what about for current employees? Can changes actually be made constitutionally to their pension system?
Well, that's a very serious issue, and there's some split views on whether it could be constitutionally done. What the governor is proposing is not to change anything about something that an employee has already earned and paid for. All he's talking about is prospectively. So from the effective date of any pension reform legislation forward, these changes would be in effect. That's sort of a gray area, and the question is whether the courts would uphold changes as long as they're made prospectively to current employees.
You are actually part of the House Republican Pension Task Force. Talk to us a little bit about that and whether you think these changes will actually happen in this budget cycle.
Well, it's important that they happen in this budget cycle because the governor has assumed that they will happen and has discounted the line items for pension contributions by $175 million. So if the legislature is unable to do anything on pension reform, there's a $175 million hole in the budget that will have to be fixed somehow. The Republican House caucus has put together a task force to look at the governor's proposal, look at other ideas, and to come up with a policy for our caucus, and I happen to be chairing that caucus. So we're going to be, over the next several months, looking at a lot of different ideas, looking at the legal issues on this constitutionality question, and trying to come up with something that is fair to everybody, but at the same time seriously addresses this accumulating $41 billion worth of liability.
Thanks so much for being with us.
My pleasure.
We've been talking with Pennsylvania State Representative Glen Grell. I'm Jill Horner for Comcast Newsmakers.